Wow. I am genuinely the stupidest person going right now. I sat down to record, I hit the record button, and then I was looking at the waveform going, ooh, what is this? It's peaking all over the place and it looks horrible. And then when I played it back, it sounded like garbage. I had the wrong input selected for the microphone. It was using the laptop's microphone. Wow, I am genuinely so stupid. But yeah, anyway, hello and welcome back to the Lion's Den. I'm your host Matt as always, and if you're new here, if you've not been around since the very beginning a couple of years back, which is wild to say out loud that I've been doing this for a couple of years, or like a year and a half, I don't know specifically. We just talk about anything on this podcast. It evolved from just generally talking about what happened in the week to just topics that I'm interested in, or like quirky fun events that have happened. So I want to just start out by saying we have an extractor fan in the kitchen, which is sensible. I know, amazing. And it's not fully put in currently because they're doing stuff with the kitchen, sort of renovating it and whatnot. But what that means is we basically have a fan attached to a tube that just goes straight outside. And I was watching it spin because it's windy outside, and then put my hand up to it and I was like, I can just feel the cold air blasting in. So I started thinking I should probably just try and cover this up in some way. I'll have to bring it up to my parents as well. Like, yo, we've just got a hole to the outside. That's not a good idea. I tried to get some masking tape to cover it over to stop some of the airflow, and this masking tape was not having it. Every time I would try and peel it, it would just make a triangular shaped rip through the middle of it and then completely break. So then I'd try and like correct the sides and bring them all in line so it would be a straight piece, and then it would rip again. Utterly terrible, completely useless. So I'll do that later basically. Anyway, today's topic, far more interesting than fan blades, is Animal Crossing. We're back again in the land of Animal Crossing because I want to talk about Happy Home Paradise because I'm very, very excited. Now, why am I excited, you might ask? Well, because simply I got the expansion pass for Nintendo Switch Online, which gives you access to the Happy Home Paradise DLC, and it is awesome. Genuinely awesome. And I'm so glad that I put off playing it, which is a weird thing to say, right? You would have thought, oh, DLC, cool, let's just go straight for it. No. I'm glad I took a break because I burnt out with Animal Crossing, let's be perfectly honest, which I think a lot of people did. They just burnt out. Mainly because, it came out in lockdown and everybody was suddenly having a lot more free time. And yeah, I did the exact same thing. I played a fair few hundreds of hours of the base game. I went through all of the updates as they got released and played it for like a year solid. That was super fun. Really enjoyed everything that it had, and then said, I'm gonna put it down and play other games and come back to it, and never went back to it. So yeah, when they announced the DLC, I was like, oh, that's really cool, but I kind of don't have the time right now for it, so I'm gonna put that on pause. And then I put it on pause, and then I put it on pause, and here we are. Several months later, actually finally sitting down to play it. And I'm happy because when I started back up, I went into the game. I started to fix up my island because there were weeds everywhere, and I went and said hi to everyone and then cried because they had the exact same dialogue options. And then I went straight into the DLC because why would I waste any more time? First off, Nico, my precious baby. You know that meme where it's like, I would kill everyone in this room and then myself if you harmed this baby? That's me. I would totally do that because he's so adorable. He's like the perfect balance of just a standard animal with some cute, but not like anime, weird, freakish cute, just general cute. And I want to hug him and like spend the day on the beach just chilling with ice cream. He's so adorable, and I love him because he oozes charm. Every action he does is lovely. Like the way he little jumps when you do photos and the smiles and so good. So happy about that. And he's your sort of like little guide through the whole game, teaching you new mechanics and popping up saying like, oh look, there's things you can do. So that's really nice. You then got Lottie, I think her name is, and she's really nice. She's like the best boss. I wish I had a boss that was like them. She literally says, no, sit down, take a break. At certain intervals whilst the game loads the next portion. And then you got Waddle? I don't know how you pronounce that. I've not heard the name pronounced verbally. But you got the little like, is he a walrus? I'm gonna say Walrus dude. He's sweet. He's the like big silent soft type, which is nice. So the characters are just fantastic. The island resorts thing is really cool, and I'm slowly building it out, which is enjoyable. And there's so much to it. So obviously the main purpose of this is it takes that core element of designing your house and just lets you go wild with it. It gives you creative mode but for building houses, which is awesome, absolutely awesome. And I didn't realize I enjoyed that part as much until I started playing this. I think in the base game, because obviously you're limited by how many items you actually physically own, designing your house in the base game is a lot harder because you just don't have the materials to mess around with. You have whatever you've got to work with. Whereas in this, you can throw 50 couches in a house and it's fine. You can mess around with it. You can delete items and re-add items back in. It's cool. You don't have to worry about purchasing things and everything's there instantly. So it's a really nice way of being able to build out the house in the exact way that you want it. So that's awesome. The second thing is the theming. Every character that you design a house for has a theme, which you can kind of just ignore because basically I think the game only checks to make sure that you've got the requisite items that they want, and as long as they're either outside or inside, wink wink, there's a trick for you, you can put anything else inside the house. So like one person wanted this weird Western style thing and they wanted like a water well, a wagon, and like a bay hail basically, and I was like, I'm just gonna shove all of that stuff outside and then the inside's gonna be completely whatever the hell I want because I want it to look nice on the inside and not stupid with a giant water well in the middle of the room, obviously. So that's really awesome, that's enjoyable. Obviously it doesn't throw you right in the deep end, it just gives you more things slowly over time. So like initially it doesn't let you build outside and then it does, and it gives you the same tool set as you do when you're building outside, which is awesome. And I wish I could do that on my home island, but I understand why you can't do that on your home island, but yeah, whatever. They give you room sizing options, which again, awesome, but you can't do that at your home on your home island. Why, Nintendo? I want to make my rooms bigger, please. I have too many items. But I get it. And then they gave you partition walls. That was hilarious, right? The partition walls, awesome. Genuinely awesome thing. You can section rooms off. There are some caveats that were super annoying though. So the first one is you can't put anything on them as a wall hanging decoration, which is stupid. Please, why? The next thing is, as I realized and found out as I progressed, I tried to make a corner pocket room in one of the houses and was like, wait, the walls, they don't line up. If you make a corner, there's like a really annoying gap. So I had to abandon that idea. And then like 2 houses later they said, hey, here's pillars, this is how you make a corner. And I went, I was trying to do that like 3 houses ago. So yeah, that's still cool though. The pillars, the partition walls are awesome, the room sizing is awesome, the custom lights is awesome. It's so good, and I just really enjoy designing houses. I didn't realize that. It's really fun to get creative with how you position furniture, and I've had some really interesting designs that is stuff I wouldn't have thought of doing. The funny thing is, I want all the cool houses and the cool themes, so I tend to steer away from the ones that are like, oh, I want to be surrounded by flowers. I'm like, no, I don't like that. But then I end up having to pick some of those because, you know, it only gives you a certain selection of people to work with. And those are the funnest ones because it makes me think about how I actually design the house. So that's really awesome. And I'm very thankful that they kind of limit you and it makes you be more creative. So that's fun. I love the fact that you can invite your villagers from your island. That's awesome. I did that accidentally. I invited Walker, who was my bestest favorite boy, and he was like, I want a cool house. I was like, hell yeah, you want a cool house, let's go. That was fun and awesome. And then I'm also seeing a lot of the villagers that I just never come across, because obviously once you've got 10 on your island, you don't really see new ones very often. So that's awesome, getting to see the variety of designs they've got. And then the like cherry on top that I've got to so far is there are buildings on the resident village island. Resident village? What? That's a whole nother game. On the sort of main vacation island where the people go and chill on the beach, they have empty buildings that eventually you unlock and you can design. So one's a school, one's a restaurant, and one's a cafe. That's what I've got so far. Obviously, I imagine there'll be things coming along. And that's really awesome to do. You can get custom recipes and food items from them as well, which is super useful. You can also then expand how many people are on the island that you can go and say, hey, do you want me to build a house for? That was a good thing. So like they have 4 or 5 people out front on the beach, and then you can go inside the cafe and there'll be another 4 odd people, and then you can go in the restaurant and there'll be even more people. So that's super helpful in giving you variety. I'm getting out of breath because I'm talking so much. But yeah, I can't wait to see what else there is in the game. I know there's the feature where you can go back to your main island and redesign the houses for your island villagers, which I definitely need to do because some of the items they've given them, they just kind of throw strewn about in their houses and it looks stupid. So I'd love to fix their houses personally. And yeah, can't wait to see how it goes, see what else this game has for me. Because I've managed to avoid most of the spoilers, I think. I know a couple few end game things with the DLC that I won't say in case you don't know. But otherwise, fantastic. If you like Animal Crossing and you've sunk hundreds of hours into it, you'll like the DLC. Let's put it that way. Unless you really hate designing houses, which I imagine you don't because you play Animal Crossing. So anyway, I hope you've all enjoyed listening. Have a fantastic week and I'll see you all next week. Bye!